I believe that zinc is one of the more underappreciated nutrients. Zinc deficiencies are very commonly found in people who not only have immune weaknesses, but also who have overactive immune systems, people who have things like allergies and asthma, eczema, and autoimmune diseases. So it seems as if correcting zinc levels will bring both sides of the immune system more into balance. Now, we find that having an optimal zinc level is having somewhere on the lines of 90 to 110 micrograms per deciliter. However, the laboratory for these plasma levels will list very wide reference ranges. Some labs as low as 40, 50. Other labs say the high end can be up to like 140, 190. But we find that 90 to 110 is really a nice sweet spot. And so a lot of the things that when we're checking for, we don't accept just the bottom of the reference range. We find that really the middle to middle upper end of the reference range is really what's helpful. Now, we also find that there's different forms of zinc, and some people seem to respond differently. The form that seems to be most well responded to is called zinc picolinate. But there's also zinc sulfate. A lot of the research has been done on zinc citrate. But we find that zinc picolinate seems to be the best tolerated, as well as the best absorbed. And especially for young children, though, we often will use zinc sulfate because they come as very easy to use drops that are as much as like 1 milligram in a single drop. So it really also depends on what the patient is taking. That will make a difference in their levels. Sometimes if it's not showing improvement with one form, we may try to another form. Now, in addition to this, we also are looking at a patient's copper level, especially for people with chronic conditions, because a lot of people not only in those states will have a low zinc level, but they also have a high copper level. And we find that when there is that imbalance, where there's about more than 20% difference between the copper to zinc level, that there is a protein system in our body called metallothionein that may actually not be working properly. Interestingly, when we see that abnormally high copper to zinc ratio, we find that by giving a good dose of zinc, not only will the zinc level come up, but we also find that the copper level will come down. And then when we see that big disparity to start off with, there's actually an amino acid supplement that we will sometimes use called metallothionein promoter that has the same amino acids that this metallothionein protein contains. And we find that when we give that to people, once we've corrected the zinc to copper imbalance, a lot of chronically ill people will actually show clinical improvements in their conditions because metallothionein is the regulator of the zinc and copper levels. So once we get the zinc levels up is when we want to bring this in. But if all you'd give is the metallothionein promoter, and you make those proteins, but you don't have the zinc, we still have the underlying problem.